Okay, thank you. This is Jerry Shefzik, Chair of the Clark County Public Art Committee, calling this meeting to order today, July 14th, 2026 at 3:33 p.m. Greetings all. I'd like to do the roll call now. This is Jerry Shefzik. If I call your name, please respond with your full name and here. Mary?
Mary Sabo here.
Thank you. Alexia?
Alexia's here.
Thank you. Alfredo? Is Alfredo excused? Heather?
Hi, Jerry. Heather Harmon here.
Very good. Ken?
Ken is absent. Excuse.
Excused, thank you. And Sean?
Sean Russell here.
Always, thank you. Always good to have you here. Very good. Could we have the county arts staff introduce themselves too? So we know who's here.
Yeah, that'd be great. So I'm Mickey Sprode. I'm the program administrator over the Public Arts Office. Eileen? Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. My name is Eileen. I'm the Public Arts Project Coordinator Supervisor.
I'm Gianna. I'm the office specialist.
Lauren?
And I'm Brett. I'm the conservator.
Hi, I'm Katie. I oversee Rotunda Gallery and Winchester Gallery as a curator.
I'm Lauren, and I'm the education coordinator.
I believe that's it for staff. That's just online. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, thank you very much. Okay, moving on to agenda item 2, public comment. Do we have anybody with us from the public today?
You do
No.
not.
Okay, well then we'll save that
Open
for
it
the next time.
and close it.
All right. Agenda item number 3, approval of the agenda for July 14th, 2026.
Jerry,
Yes,
I have
Mickey.
some updates and changes to reflect. So when we look at our budget presentation for today, we are going to adjust the proposals to you. For Mountain Crest Mural, we're going to increase that budget proposal, and we'll identify that a little bit later just to make it a little bit easier. We're going to scratch out Echo Trail Park Safety Town, and we could explain why in that meeting. We or in that agenda item. The crosswalk, we're going to increase that budget, and then the Sunset Park fence, the change is going to say to create a design and install it on a chain link fence with put in cups, which is a particular brand, and then that budget is going to increase as well. Other than that, everything else is going to stay the same in the agenda. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mickey. So we have a motion to accept the agenda as been amended.
Jerry, Heather, I'll make a motion to accept the agenda as amended.
Thank you, Heather. Do we have a second?
Am I the only one? Okay, Sean Russell, second. Fine.
Great. It's been moved and seconded to accept the agenda for July 14th today as amended. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, next, agenda item number 4, approval of minutes from June 9th, 2026. We've all had a chance to read them. Anybody, we have a motion or a motion to accept the minutes from June 9th.
Jerry, Heather, I'll make a motion to accept the June 9th minutes.
Thank you, Heather. And do we have a second?
Okay, Sean Russell, I will second again.
Thank you, Sean. It's been moved and seconded to accept the minutes from June 9th, 2026. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Okay. Moving on to agenda item number 5, budget presentations.
Can we go one back, Gianna?
Yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, let the record show that these are the 3 that we're going to be pitching to you today, along with those, budgets. So as this committee knows, this is a little bit out of the norm. Our budget, sessions are usually in the spring, with an acceptance in April. So some of these things have been very much fast tracked. And so we are proposing these things on the fly. We do have to still get our approvals, such as space planning, might have to go to long range planning for some of these items. And or, you know, for instance, a crosswalk, we need some conversations with Public Works as well. But rest assured, we have gotten some verbals with people, and we think that all these things can go through. We do have one more meeting for you with budget presentations. That'll be next month. And then our September meeting will have you vote. We'll do a recap of all of the presentations that we've had, and we will then have you vote to assign the funding of these projects. So with that said, I'm going to hand this over to Eileen for her to talk to you about these projects.
Thank you, Nikki. So our first project that we'd like to pitch to you is the Mountain Crest mural. Gianna, can you move forward one, please? Thank you. So what we'd like to do for the Mountain Crest mural, this will be an outdoor mural outside the Mountain Crest Community Center. We would like to hire an artist to design and paint a mural on there. We are hoping to only do the space that is shown here where it says art here. And that is going to be a little over 368 square feet. Now with this mural, we are going to use the $25 per square footage calculation. And with everything all together, we're looking at a budget of about $13K. Okay, and then our next one is here. Okay, this one is for our public arts crosswalk. We are trying to pitch a crosswalk mural across from our offices here at Sunset Park all the way across to the parking lot of the Parks and Recreation Admin Building. We are hoping to direct select, hopefully, or maybe go through an RFQ or RFP to get an artist to design and paint a crosswalk along those 3 spots. I have 3 spots highlighted here, but I believe we're only trying to pitch 1. We don't need 3 crosswalks on that space. But the minimum, we did do our research on what we will need as far as requirements to do a crosswalk. There is a minimum of 36 inches wide, and the width all the way across the road is about 60 feet across. So that's what we're basing our budget off of, and that will come up to about 20K altogether.
And so, you know, there's a lot of variables with this one. So we're showing you like the 3 crossing because we need to find out from Public Works. Does a crosswalk have to touch 2 ADA points? Probably does. So you have to have a dip in the crosswalk on both sides. We currently have that either in that diagonal or we have it across the one side of the road. So kind of like why this is coming up and why we're proposing this to you. Well, first off, this is our office. That image that you kind of see to the right that looks like solar panels, that's our office. And so every day that we park into that parking lot over there where you see the cars, and we go to cross, there is no crosswalk, and we have people kind of flying down that road. I spoke to Andrew Bennett, which is the director of Public Works, Public Safety. I'm butchering his real title, but he is basically I think he's the traffic safety director for Clark County. And so he is a whole whopping office of himself. And so I talked to him about this project. He was very excited about it. He actually has a program that the county just spent a lot of money on that actually tells him what the average speed of each road is so that he could start to save lives. Andrew has, this year, he has boasted to me that he is actually the increase of lives saved or the decrease of deaths is 60%. So the things that he's already doing is starting to reduce this traffic safety issues that is really bad in our community. With this software that he now has, he could tell the average speed. So he told me that he looked at this road, he looked at right in front of our office, and the average speed is like 27 miles per hour. It's supposed to be 15. So we're really excited to be able to put in a crosswalk here that is bright and colorful, done with art. And then the hopes is that we could have some real life data that shows that when painted correctly and maybe using specific colors, that we can reduce the speed in this area. We already have data points along this road that just has a plain white dotted crosswalk. And so we're going to be able to advocate in our community that maybe Public Works should be spending some of their funding on public art. So I think that's really exciting. Doing it at our location also just saves us. We would hate for any of us to be hit, and I think we have enough projects going on that you'd want us to be here. As far as the RFQ versus RFP, because this project is so different, and a lot of our artists in our community are not going to have that experience, and because we know with street art already from our education, we've educated ourselves through Bloomberg's street painting project. They have like a whole booklet about this, and we'll get Gianna to send it to you all so that you could experience it as well. Minimal design is important. And so one of the things I briefly talked to Eileen about was maybe we have the artists do it as an RFP and they submit proposals and we have our jurors make a selection based off of the proposals. That's one option. Another option might be how we run ZAP, where we say you can provide a proposal or you could provide your experience, so that's a balance there too. But I wanted to open it up to more artists. We know that we have some very talented artists here in our community that aren't minimalist painters. So being able to allow them to put together a proposal would give them the opportunity to learn a new skill set that might be very valuable moving forward in the future for them.
Thank you, Mickey. Gianna, thank you. And our third and final project that we want to pitch for you today is the Sunset Park fence art. This is more of a direct select project only because we do have a specific artist in mind already that does this practice. So the scope of this project will be to create a design and install it on the chain link fencing with semi-permanent put-in cups. So these put-in cups, if you see the two black figures on the bottom there, that's what the cups look like, and they're supposed to be easily installed in the spaces in between the chain link fences. So this is a very specific material. So with our research, looking through put-in cups and speaking to the artist that's done this before, we had estimated the budget to be around $5,000. And this art is going inside Sunset Park off of the eastern entrance, and there is this really huge installment of chain link fences that's surrounding a large water pipe, and we'd like to really hide that hideous water pipe with hopefully a beautiful mural made out of the put-in cups.
So to add to that, so the artist that we're wanting to direct select is Cameron Cools. Cameron has spent many years attending Full Scope. He attends these public art sculpture presentations, and his practice has been one of his practices. He is building a large scale, he's building temporary public art sculptures. He has gone through our programming with youth, the youth program, Lauren's program. Sorry, I'm like stroking out here. And then Cameron has also, while doing these sculpture projects, he's been kind of doing on his own, going in his neighborhood and just putting up just regular plastic cups and making shapes at the local school, or he during the holiday times he's approached business owners that are maybe doing like a holiday festival or selling trees and asked them, oh, can I shove these cups in here? So while he doesn't have experience with the put in cups, that is the obvious translation of these very extreme temporary cups that he's doing. Additionally, while we are pointing out that this is a semi-permanent public art piece, being that those cups, it seems like you have to install them from the backside and then push them out. I don't think anyone's going to be able to have access to the inside of that fence to shove these cups out. So I think it's going to be fairly permanent, and we'll see how long the materials last. But I would think even, I would doubt very many people want to pop those out. But you never know at a public park. And then lastly, we do not have a presentation for it, but for Echo Trail Park at Safety Town, that project is currently right now being moved forward. RPM and Andrew Bennett from Traffic Safety and Commissioner Knaff's office is working together to install what they're calling is it's the Safety Town at Echo Park. And Safety Town is going to have various cutouts that RPM is dealing with their designer. It's going to have various buildings that reflect different buildings in our community. And it's an area where they're hoping to educate children and families about different local governments and safety regulations about the road. One of the things they also want to do is they want to do a sculpture that is a internal flame sculpture. So a lighted sculpture where they can show the light shining up every time that there is a traffic safety or traffic fatality. They will turn on that light for 24 hours. Last year, it would have ran the entire 365 days of the year. Andrew is very proud to say that with that reduction of 60%, it will be a little bit more hands-on. With that project, though, and with RPM RA funding the Safety Town, it just makes more sense that that funding comes from the RPM's park bonds funding, and so not the take from the arts plan. And so that is their hopes. They are in the next few weeks waiting to see what their project budget comes back at for their overall budget. And then we are, like so many other projects, Eileen and I are just helping them facilitate the project. We've already identified a couple artists that they're going to get a quote from, and move along the project that way. And at some point, possibly, we will take it into the arts plan, but it's too soon to know when we will do that.
I have a question. On the crosswalk, or actually the roads that go through Sunset Park, who is responsible for those roads?
That's going to be real property management is in charge of the roads inside Sunset Park. But what we Gianna, will you flip back to that project? But what we want to do is make sure that we are using approved public works materials so that we can also base that's happening. So we could say, look, Andrew's given us the data over a course of month, XYZ, how many cars drove by, or whatever data he can give us. We could start to work with public works and maybe increase some of these street paintings.
If this turns out to be successful, which I don't see why it wouldn't, could this find its way outside of the park to other crosswalks?
Yeah. That's my hope, is that Mr. Bennett he's the one seeing that data. We're going to have him give us that data. And I hope that he sees such a large increase of slowdown that he really starts to move the pendulum to maybe doing more of these in our community. You know, Public Works knows, they know all those areas that are pinch points that have more fatalities than we realize. They know these places. And so if we could prove to them that it's slowed down here, I think it's a good thing. You know, maybe they could start utilizing it in their less colorful parts of town, and really make it a fun thing that people want to, want to be safe, want to slow down and see these things.
Is this Public Works? Is this a county department?
Yeah, so most of our projects we run through a department called Real Property Management. They own our facilities, they own our parks, they own the building I'm sitting in. They do design and construction, and then also maintain all of the county's facilities, and then they lease facilities too. Public Works, which is traditionally where a public art program would mostly work with Public Works, we have very little projects with them, but they maintain a majority of the roads in Clark County. So they run roads and parking lots, and but some of them we work with NDOT and we run through there. So.
You know, that was kind of the question, where does NDOT get into this?
NDOT
County versus state. Pardon?
Yeah, NDOT has some of the roads. So Public Works, even, they maintain the 215 freeway, because that is not a state freeway. That was a Clark County freeway. And so so they have projects like our project, Eileen's project, Legacy Trails. That's a Public Works project.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we might not want to put a crosswalk on 215.
No, we don't want to put a crosswalk on 215, but you further those relationships with those departments, and then certainly they are adding more and more interchanges and traffic circles and bus stops and everything else, and if we could be a service and put public art out on our streets, that's exciting. So
Yeah, thank you. I was just trying to get a picture of the whole.
Hello, can you hear me?
yes.
I have another question. So, if there were to be a construction project that had to open up the street where the art is put down, what kind of contingency plan will we have to place it back after the construction's done?
We would, so we already require our artists to waive Ferrara rights. So that is already in it. We just have to be honest with artists in these situations, that if there is construction, if there is anything, we're not going to hold up a building to be built or a road to be resurfaced because to save the art. We can't do that. We have funding in our conservation, and so if the project is successful, if the artist is still around, if the artwork is still relevant, then we engage. So Brett engages an artist and starts to have a conversation with them on what what the logistics are and what needs to happen. And then we negotiate with the artist, what's that cost gonna be to repaint or reestablish the artwork.
Interesting. Thank you.
So each one of these needs voted on, so we can't be in item 6. Let's go back to maybe item 5's page. So not a vote right now, not an action item. But we do need to hear from the committee members if this is 3 projects that are worth moving forward, and is there any tweaks that you would like us to do before it gets submitted? Gianna, I definitely want C to say put in cups, not plastic cups.
Okay. Mhm.
On question on A, where is Mountain Crest?
So that one is in District C. It is up in the Summerlin area. Clark County has a little pocket surrounded by city of Las Vegas. And do we know the cross streets of it? Anyway. It's up by
Oh, it's
Lone
on
Mountain.
Orchard Rango.
Were you able to hear that? It was something Durango.
I think it's North Durango Lone Mountain.
So, can we go back to that project? I think we brushed through it pretty quickly.
Yeah, North
Okay.
Durango.
Yeah. So the project, so in this area, so Mountain Crest is a community center in District C. We don't have a lot of projects funded in District C. Yes, District C. Mountain Crest, out in this grass area that you see in front of the back of this building is where we're pitching this. The commissioner has been putting on like art fairs and produce fairs, that kind of stuff. So farmers markets, that type of thing. I think it's every other Friday in this area. And so when we were looking to place a public art piece within her district, being that 90% of her district is Mary's responsibility in city of Las Vegas, we only have a few pinpoint areas that we can fund projects in. It's a Mountain Crest. There's two Lone Mountain parks. They're both called Lone Mountain. One's regional horse park and dog park. The other one is just a park with a few courts and a playground. Then she also oversees Mount Charleston, so Lee Canyon area. We have a camp that is up there, and then technically Clark County owns the meadows, and we lease the camp from the Forestry Service. And then we also have the youth prison that is up in Camp Lee, not Camp Lee, up in Lee Canyon, at which we did a project through community engagement this past year. And then April Becker also oversees Indian Springs. So at some point, hopefully we'll be pitching a project someplace in Indian Springs to you as well.
Thank you.
Yep. On this project too, we priced it out at the $25 a square foot. So traditionally, when we pitch you long-term large public art projects, this committee has notoriously wanted to see those murals funded at a much higher price point. It's sitting at $25 a square foot, but you all have approved up to, $35 a square foot. So that is something that we would need to hear from you and chime in on if you feel where you would like this project to go. You can see here it is two different textures. You have kind of like a smooth stucco texture at the top of this building, that round part. And then the top half of the brick is a smooth brick. So there you go. So it might be great to just kind of go through each one of these projects, let you all chime in so that we can do our due diligence and make those adjustments for our September meeting.
This is Mary just chiming in regarding the mural rate. 25 is what we've been doing. So I think that that's been working out pretty well, especially for these larger mural projects. We try to not ever go under 25, and we kind of have a range 25 to 35 depending on the project, but for our like specifically community center projects too, it's been 25, so I would be comfortable with that budget.
Jerry, let us know when you want you on the move the next one, and we'll give it back over to Jerry.
Well, I'm always in favor of getting artists more, so whatever. All right. Then the next project is the crosswalks. Any input on this one as far as funding?
Are they still legally crosswalks if you put designs all over them? Because I could see the yellow stripes in the one.
These are all things that we will find out, Sean, through having those conversations with Public Works. There are probably regulations that we have to follow on certain things, but rest sure I wouldn't just be like, well, we're gonna do these 3 lines.
Like if you
and
paint a
call it
design in the middle of the
public.
road, does it automatically make it a crosswalk?
I don't know.
Oh, can I jump in real quick on that?
Technically, every intersection is a crosswalk.
Okay. But do you have to have the
Just
little
to jump
lines?
in on that real quick. We do have to have one of the regulations. We do have to have the white parts of the crosswalk in order for it to be a crosswalk. So we do need the white stripes and the white outlining for the crosswalk to be approved. But we can color inside the lines or right outside of
Okay. I'm just wondering from an artistic standpoint, what you have to conform to.
Right, yeah, there are regulations as far as what the crosswalk has to have in the design as well.
Okie dokie.
Again, too, after this meeting, I'm going to download the Bloomberg, road painting initiative. And then I encourage all of the committee members to read up on it so that when this comes back in front of you in September, or if you have things that you've learned in August, that you bring it up during this agenda item. That way we can tweak it and kind of do what we need to do. I'm gonna put it in chat for right now, and then Gianna will email it to you later. And there's a whole book that you can download, a free guide. It would be easier for you all to download it.
So we're again looking at $25 per square foot, general budget.
Yeah, well, that's for, so Eileen has identified for just a 36 wide, 60 feet long at $25 a square foot was 4,500. You could see though, we just moved forward with like a more robust budget because we don't know what those, we're guesstimating the materials at 7,000. And then, permits and holding a contingency, all the fun stuff. And then artist fee and design, $4,000. So, I think the committee might feel better to, Eileen, if, you're showing some type of, you have materials, but you're missing labor at that point for the artist. It's probably the 7,000 is probably materials and labor is probably how we should edit that slide. This gives us 2 months as well, committee members, to have those conversations with Public Works, really pinpoint and identify this, hone it in a little bit more. And then at the budget meeting, we may come back and say, we identified to you 20,000, but now it's more like 10,000 or more like, or maybe it's 20,000 and we're going to ask for 2 different areas so that we can do 2 different prints and see if colors are different. Gives it a different feel.
Okay, we'll wait for those numbers. Any other thoughts on this, on the crosswalks? Now, then moving on to Sunset Park fence. Any thoughts on this one?
I see these on schools all over the place, on CCSD schools, on the fences outside. It would be neat to see what an artist could do with it, because normally schools just write, the whatever pit bulls or whatever their mascot is. Yeah, it seems in that image in the lower right, it would be a good way to cover that atrocious pipe. Probably inexpensive. Yeah, inexpensive. Neat.
Yeah, and it really does give an opportunity to somebody that is very invested in our program. So, I'm gonna give him the opportunity to maybe go to the different schools and sell a different vision. And then lastly, it would be like a wall to wall filling all of these sides. And so it would be neat to see it instead of just this like thing floating.
Are they gonna blow away? And is Brett gonna have to go chase down little plastic doodads?
They won't blow away, they clip in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey man, you've seen it at a lot of schools.
Yeah, I
If
guess.
they blow away, then we know with school kids, they could be over there picking at it. And so, but that is a question we do have to get from real property management. You were very correct with that is, are they going to allow it wall to wall or do they want some air openings? Do they want to make sure that they could see into it because of the sheer amount of homelessness here in Sunset Park? And they do have a camp fairly close to this. Right across the way from this picture that you're seeing, in the green grass, that is where a food truck comes every day and feeds a significant amount of homeless. So they will be crossing, and I'm sure they walk by this area every day. So, so we don't want to make it so private that they start making their home in it either. So we'll have those conversations with real property management before we would contract with Cameron to do this project.
All sounds good. I think we're ready to move on. Agenda item 6, discussion of proposed amendments to the bylaws.
So as far as I know, Gianna and I talked, she sent out the bylaws. She sent them out once and then she did do a follow-up email. We did not hear back from any committee members, and so we had kept them exactly the same as what we had discussed. Basically 2 meetings ago, and then we proposed to you last meeting. So if no one has any changes, then in August, you will actually vote this in, and then we will go to get that approval from the Parks and Rec director, as well.
Has everyone had a chance to read them? Well, I had to read them a couple of times just to make sure I understood what they were saying. Do they address the questions we had?
I think can we have just a healthy discussion about about under section 3 membership, the one arts staff member from a local entity within Clark County, Nevada. And then Jay had scratched out excluding Clark County. I really, really value having an expert in the room that is a public arts administrator. And we have many in this room right now. We have many of you that I would consider a staff member from a local entity in Southern Nevada that is an arts staff member. Would this committee be okay if we specified it down to a public arts staff member so that we could have somebody that is specifically that really knows their bread and butter and can help identify those things with you all, you know, so it's not just my team going, oh, this is what we do in public art, to have somebody that knows it intimately as well and can say, but what about this? What do you all feel about that?
Which item would that go with?
It would be the committee. The committee consists of 7 members, which shall include, and it's the third bullet point with the red excluding Clark County, that it would say 1 public arts staff member from a local entity within Southern Nevada.
I wouldn't object to that in any way. Then it gives you a broader base for candidate selection.
Yeah, sure, that specifies it better. I mean, an art staff member from a local entity could be a person that works at Michael's craft store,
Yes, correct.
right? I mean, local entity is not defined.
No. And that's what we want to avoid is that these applications are now very open, very public. And so we want to make sure that that there are some key people. Also, traditionally in an art commission setting, a lot of times it would be the council people or the mayor making these choices. And there is nothing to say that wouldn't happen within this program as well. And it can and rightfully could go that way, and it would be okay. But then having some very clear lines right now would help those people that are outside of this group and my staff be able to make an informed choice that really helps the program, not hinders the program.
Is it okay as it is now, or rewritten?
I would like to rewrite it where it says 1 public arts staff member.
Public arts. Okay. Yes.
I believe we could still move forward with it. You'll do a vote on it next month. And so that'll be updated and you'll look at it before the meeting. And if you all had thoughts about it, we could always stave off making the vote and make the change needed.
That works.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on. To agenda item 7, a report by staff regarding monthly summary of activities.
All right, so we have open calls going on right now. We have a gallery call, Desert Pools at Winchester. That closes on July 26th, and we have those exhibit dates for August 11th through October 8th. We also have Walking Through Americas. That is an international call, so please spread the word on that. That's going to close Wednesday, August 5th. And that exhibit's running August 31st through September 24th. And then of course we have our call for musicians list. And I believe on our website, we always kind of have a call going on for evaluators as well. So if you ever meet anyone, or if you have students or people that are talking about being interested in applying for these public art calls, have them connect with us. We could schedule one-on-ones with them for their applications, but we could also talk to them about evaluating one of these public art calls so that they get a better idea of what a professional application looks like versus maybe a more amateur application. And so we did want to add in some upcoming events. Ken couldn't make it today, but he wanted to make sure that he shared his democracy prep. Campus is having a art show. So it's called Game Changers with Sandra Lyle, and then students from Democracy Prep. So that is running. The reception is August 1st from 12 to 3 p.m. And then it's going to be on view to December 18th. And then we also have is this a call happening, Gianna, for wetlands, I believe? Yeah. So it's a call for wetlands for their gallery. We do have that open as well. So one of the things Ken and I talked about yesterday when he called me, and I've talked about it before here, is, you know, we have a lot of great events happening in our community, and there's not, and we always have this like issue with communication. And then also kind of like historically, even just capturing these extra events. So I'm going to work with the DA this month to ask him if we could put in a just kind of around town upcoming events. And then in order to save us time, we'll just ask that the committee members, if you have any events that you want recognized and put on record, that you send the flyers to Gianna over the month, and then we will put that in your packet. And so that just becomes a huge record of activities here in our community, cultural activities. So I think the basis of it should be that, you know, that it's kind of friendly for all, right? Family friendly, being that it is Clark County. So, you know, does it extend to like burlesque events, certain things going on in the performing arts realm? I don't know. When we get there, we get there. So just Gianna will red flag anything to me, and then whoever sent it in, that person and I will have a healthy conversation on whether it should be posted at the time, and then we'll go from there. But it would be nice to start capturing our cultural events in a forum like this. Right, so Miss Avey, as you know, she is wrapping up her term pretty rapidly. These are her events that she did in June, and she has an upcoming one in July. We are Ariel is working on her closing Celebrating Miss Avey event. That event is going to be the first weekend in September. So it's going to be September 5th. And it's going to be an event at Winchester. We're going to have hopefully a public art unveiling of a bench with her poetry on it. We are hiring a local artist to do that, and we are funding it through the poetry program's funding. Okay, we move on. Next slide. As far as poetry programming goes, so we have the next Poet Laureate in-person interviews is coming up for July 24th. The evaluators are still evaluating those people that applied. And in order to keep things all running smoothly, Ariel has reached out to all the applicants and gave them the time frame so they can all kind of leave it open. Today was the day that her evaluators were supposed to get in their scores to her, and on tomorrow or Thursday I will sit with Ariel and we will go over those results so that she can contact those interviewees. And then, of course, she has her Inkwell program that happens once a month. Typically, those are on Saturdays. And her next Inkwell person is Sammy Walker. These are online, and trying to be very accessible with those. And just so you all know, we have, I think last month, she had a person from Canada and a person from England on this class. So she's pulling people from all over the world to learn about these poets that she is paying to talk about poetry and how to become a professional poet. So it's a very cool program that's completely free. Okay.
For this month's full scope, we are going to be hosting a hybrid in-person and online workshop. We are going to have an open discussion with the attendees about Clark County Public Arts. So we like to do this at least once every 6 months just to update our art community on the things that's going on in Clark County Public Arts. And this is an opportunity for our art community to meet the Clark County Public Arts staff. And that'll be for next Tuesday at 3 p.m.
Yeah, so we just closed our call for artists for the fiscal year 27 fall program. So we had 5 applicants and selected 4 artists, and those 4 artists are Megan Hears, Subhash Awale, David Song, and Vanessa Maciel. And we're going to have another call for artists out in August and have that deadline be September 1st. So there will be a new call out for the spring fiscal year 27 artists. So please keep that on your calendars and we'll share that when we have that ready.
Okay, so solo series, Carla Laguna oversees solo series. It did close just recently, and she ended up receiving 30 applications. Samantha did review those applications yesterday, and we're connecting with Pearson Community Center to ensure that the top 4 are appropriate for that space. Once that's done, I think if it's not, or if need be, we're going to expand out to, I think it was 7 applications. We're kind of near each other, and then they'll do interviews for that position. So hopefully we'll be making a selection very soon for Pearson Solo Series, and then we could celebrate those artists. Okay. Adrian.
Yeah, and then for the Rotunda Gallery, we have coming right now on exhibit is Expressions of Clark County. It's our America 250 show. We do have a reception that's this Thursday night from 6 to 8 p.m. if you can attend. There will be dancing, there will be musicians, we'll have refreshments, and then we'll have remarks and awards towards the end of the evening. So that'll be this week. And then immediately the next day, we'll be switching out that show for Be Home Soon. This is a group show that is juried by Jennifer Clevin. For that, I'm sorry, I will step back for a moment. For America 250, we did receive 38 applications and selected 27. For Be Home Soon, we had 36 applications and selected 34. So this again will exhibit starting July 20th until August 27th. And then the reception will be August 27th from 6 to 8 as well. And then after that, we will have Walking Through the Americas. That will be juried by Olmeca, and then applications and all of that is still to be determined. That will be exhibiting August 31st through September 24th with a reception on September 24th in the evening as well.
And our, just to reiterate, if you all are available, this Thursday is the America 250 reception. We have live performances happening starting at 6:30 p.m. So they get 10 minutes performance, and then we do a 10-minute break. We have 3 performers, a gentleman who is going to play his ukulele. We have a woman that is going to perform traditional Chinese dance. And then we have a jazz band that's going to come in. I think it's a 5-piece band that's going to round off the performances. And then at 7:30 is going to be all of the speeches. So we have Amber Colbert from the Clark County Museum, who will be talking about the America 250 utility box project and the exhibit that is going on at the Rotunda. We will have the Nevada Chinese American Association. They will speak a little bit about their exhibit. And then you know, hopefully Fawn will talk about some of the artifacts that she identified through the county museum and has displayed. And then we'll round out with AB talking about his selections for the winners for this exhibit. And then we also have, hopefully we'll receive some congressional awards to give all the artists as well.
Yeah, and then for Winchester Gallery, this is coming up as well. This is open right now for applications. It's called Desert Pools. This will be juried by Hikmet Sidney Lowe. And this one is open, I believe, until August. I think 2nd is the cutoff for applicants for that. But this will be again at Winchester, kind of centering on how and where water is sort of utilized and thought of in the Vegas and Nevada area. So I'm very excited for this one too, with Higman's involvement with land art and everything too. And I'm sorry, a reception will be also October 8th in the evening.
And then Wetlands Gallery is, you can see there, they have 2 exhibits that are still going on, and then we still have that open call for them, that is coming up. Thank you. And then with our marketing, as you can see, there are numbers here. We have, from June 4th to July 1st, on our Facebook, we had a small increase in followers, but it looks like we had a decrease in views and interactions. On Instagram, that same time, we've had a drop in our views, a drop in the interactions, but we've had almost 100 people increase in followers. So makes sense at the close of fiscal year that we're probably posting a little less. We did not have access to our money, so it is a thing. And then as far as the newsletter goes, so it looks to me that we didn't have that many art calls that were going on as well, so we have a little bit of smaller number, and then we have but with art calls, that means there's 1,800, a little over 1,800 artists that are receiving our newsletter about calls. And then with events, we have a little over 2,000 people that are interested in our events. And with an open rate of 96%, that's pretty cool. Right.
Alrighty. Can we move to the actual list of ZAP maintenance? All right, so with ZAP monthly maintenance, this month, American Graffiti recorded 9 tags in the valley and removed them. That ends the fiscal year at $55,330 spent on their services. We rehired them. They were the winning bid. We had 2 other bidders, Luton Construction and by Murrah, that also deal with graffiti abatement, that applied for the bid, but American Graffiti ended up winning. So the PR for the new contract got sent out in mid-June, and we should be having the PO open within the next week or so, I'm hoping. So they will be able to continue graffiti services for that month.
And then for the Camp Lee bathroom mural, it is currently on hold until October. Camp is currently in session, so Brenda's not able to finish her mural at the moment, but she will be back in October to finish the.
With Reach, we're still looking for 2 contractors. One of the contractors that we had do the bid for the graffiti abatement services also deals with a number of construction projects. They were recommended to us by Public Works, that because they do graffiti abatement for the strip, and they expressed interest in applying for this bid after we explained to them what it entailed. So we're just trying to secure 2 more contractors per our requirements, so we can send out the bid.
And for the Aku Aku interpretive sign, at the moment, Hamilton Blake is having issues with their permitting and their installation. So they're trying to resolve that issue right now. We should be hearing something by next week.
With Octosteam, I just reached out to the artist today. Eileen had reached out to him last month. We still haven't heard anything back, so me and Eileen are going to get together and discuss how to move forward. Since the artist isn't responding, hopefully we're going to try to call him and get him on the phone to see where he's at. But for right now, that's where we're at on.
This project reminds me that I have had a conversation with our district attorney. So when we ask an artist to come, chime in on their sculpture piece because we need some maintenance, what our agreements say is if we can't come to an agreement, Clark County can move on and do the necessary work that we need it to do, however that looks. And then on the back end, if the artist didn't feel like the workmanship or the work in itself represented them, then they could request Clark County to remove their name off of the piece. And that includes like our website, taking the name off there. But one of the other issues that is popping up is when we've asked these artists to give us a price quote, they are coming onto property, which, makes sense that they gotta go and see these things. But in doing so in such a place like Octosteam, where it's placed, that becomes a very dangerous thing. So having an artist run across the street, then we are also incurring that some of these artists are taking it upon themselves to just fix some things while they're out there prior to giving us a quote and prior to us securing a purchase order with them. So we are going to work on our language in our agreements when it comes to these public art projects that does help secure some of these safety concerns that Clark County has, and in a sense indemnify Clark County if an artist chooses to go about reworking on their pieces, running into the street to see their pieces, all of these things. It covers Clark County, so this program doesn't have to pay a lawsuit in depth, that type of thing.
And for the Winchester Skate Park, staff is working right now on the quote draft still. There were a few specifications that need to be edited, so we are currently working on that right now.
For monthly conservation activities outside of the projects we're working on, the shade structures at the Flamingo Arroyo Trailhead are right now filled up with homeless, especially this time of year because it's so hot during the day. The homeless like to gather around there. They also like to gather on the underpass bridge where the mural runs along. So I'm going to be working with Public Works to try to get the area cleared out so I can do repairs to those two projects. The SBI Octopus mural, you can see in the photos, there's the tags before and after removal. There's some staining. The wall was protected, but because it's porous and it's settled and there's been some shifting, there are some cracks. So some of the colors are still there, but most of the actual painting itself was saved. So there's going to be some repair needed for that. Outside of that, I went down to Searchlight. We were having two artists that needed to finish up their artworks. There's 5 boxes, so I went down last weekend to see where they were at. Their status as of last weekend is they're finished now. When I put the report in, though, they were about halfway done, but they're finished fully now.
For the stencil art project, right now, we are just waiting to get a PO for the stencil company. All of our artists are already vendored and we're waiting for their POs as well. Once all of those POs come in and we're able to get them fully processed, they can get started on creating their designs and then working with the stencil company to get these stencils printed out. And then for the Spring Mountain Youth Camp Empowerment Art, since we did hit the end of the fiscal year, we had to wait for the next fiscal year to get them back on track. They will be returning, the installation company will be returning back to the center once they get their brand new PO to reinstall the cabin vinyl and then finish the rest of the Conex box install as well. So we're looking at hopefully a completion of by the end of this July.
I think you're on mute, Mickey.
Thank you. So for the A's Elephant temporary sculpture, there's been some little movement with it, not much. It is going to be reduced down. Currently, right now, I only know that it's going to be at the government center. So next month we'll update it with the removing out Desert Breeze baseball park and removing District F. We will not spend any money for this project. This is all being done and paid for through the A's and through their various companies that are overseeing this public art project. They will install the project. They will maintain the project. So there will be no graffiti removals or anything on the part of public art. And then Real Property Management is the one that is going to do the agreement with this company. So hopefully we just get to celebrate it and post lots of socials about Hank coming into the government center. But hopefully in the next month or two, we could kind of step out of the project a little bit more.
The Parkdale Hispanic Heritage mural right now is also on hold. We did finally receive the new Conex box. It's arrived at Parkdale, but just to avoid the really bad weather at the moment, we didn't want our artist to be painting in the heat. So he will be coming back in September to complete the rest of the Conex box.
All right, and then on projects, you can see there that we have funded 15 projects. Move back up there, Gianna, to that first one real fast. So we have currently 15 projects, and then hopefully we'll be able to pitch to you just a handful more of these permanent public art projects. And then I'm very excited to see and show you that we really, out of that 15, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4. We only have 5 projects on hold. So I think we're making significant steps to start to finish and engage on these projects. Okay. So we all know this one. We kind of went over this quite a bit, but this project in the art, this is actually on hold. It's going to get canceled in the arts plan and get re-imaged. So we're just going to remove this come next month, and we'll address it in a different way once the arts plan is resolved. Next.
So for ZEP 18 at the moment, some issues came up, so we had to address them really quick in order to wrap them up. We are still waiting for one more artist to completely finish up their project, and that should be done by the end of this month. And hopefully a dedication will be planned out sometime next month. For the Juvenile Justice Service mural, currently Tammy is working on this project. She is drafting the call language as we speak.
This is another one until we get that BCC arts plan approval. It is just on hiatus.
And for the Aquatic Springs installation, this is also another project that Tammy is working on at the moment. She's reviewed all of our past files, and now she's currently gathering the jury for it. And then Desert Flow at Southwest Ridge Bicycle Skills Park. We just received all of the project briefs, and all of our evaluators are currently reviewing them. We do have a design presentation set for July 16th, which is in a couple days, this Thursday. This will be at Aquatic Springs Indoor Pool at 10:30 a.m. If you are able to come join us, please stop by and check out the 3 amazing design proposals that we have. And then Red Rock Legacy Trail Sculpture, we just finished all 3 design proposals. Evaluators did discuss all 3 presentations, and they have requested for more information in order to finalize their scores. So we are currently waiting for that extra information from the artist. Once we receive that, which I believe we should be receiving by July 22nd, we should have we should be able to identify our winning design.
So Sunset Signature Sculpture, we are ready to engage with the artists. They are aware that that we are ready to engage with them. But as you can imagine, with these other RFQs doing their presentations this month, there has been a delay in that meeting with the artists. One other thing with that as well is the art group that we are going to contract with, there's basically a local artist here in town who is not doing the design, and then there's an international artist that is doing the design and the fabrication. So how they submitted that application and how they did the RFQ was that the local artist was the one that filled it out, and that is the person that we are contracting with. Now, this isn't unusual. We've done this in the past. We did this with Renewable Envoy and Lou Rico, Michael Atreo, with the Desert Diamonds project. And so it's nothing new. However, you know, every year we got to make our agreements and contracts a little bit thicker. And so we are purchasing and risk management are working together, and the DA's office is working together to develop the appropriate language that waives the Verara rights from everyone involved in the project, being that waiving the Verara rights of a person that didn't design or make the artwork doesn't help the county in that situation. And so they are actively working on that. Once we get this language resolved, which I think we're very close at this point, I've been seeing the emails come back and forth, then we're excited to hold that meeting, and I would be very excited to share with you finally the winning design, and we could celebrate those artists being awarded, and then in another year we could celebrate this project being done. Thank you.
All right, so for the wetlands monument sculpture, permitting issue has finally been resolved. So we're hoping, fingers crossed, that that permit will go through in the next few days. Once that permit is in, artists can begin to fabricate this amazing owl, and hopefully we'll see some progress sometime soon.
Okay, I guess it's my turn again. Agenda item number 9, identify emerging issues by the committee at future meetings. Comments made during this portion of the agenda by individual members shall refer solely to proposals for future agenda items, and any discussion shall be limited to whether such proposal items shall be placed on a future agenda. No discussion regarding the substance of any proposed topic shall occur, and no action shall be taken. Anyone have any issues or ideas or an item you'd like to see on a future agenda? Okay, moving on to agenda item number 10, comments by the general public. Have we had any of the public in on this meeting?
No, unfortunately, no. In spirit, yes.
In spirit, okay. All right, then we will move on to agenda item 11. Next meeting will be Tuesday, August 11th, 2026 at 3:30 p.m. And agenda item number 12. Before then, thank you, Mickey and staff. I know you have a monumental job that you're trying to accomplish, so thank you for your work, each of you. Then we stand adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.